For this lesson, we're going to look specifically at how we're going to describe a graph. But before we get to that, we're going to revisit some of the definitions we've already learned in this lesson. The first one we're going to talk about are outliers. So remember what we're using to describe are our socks. In the last video, we learned about shape. Now we're going to learn about those O's, the outliers, or anything odd. If a value is an outlier, we know mathematically if it's 1.5 times the inner quartile range below the lower quartile or above the upper quartile. Now that's the mathematical definition. On a histogram, that's very difficult to calculate. So if you can't calculate the outlier value, it's okay to say there appears to be outliers. Also mention any unusual gaps or odd features of your graph. A bin that is larger than all the rest would be something that's odd. Let me give you an example of what that would look like. So let's say you had a graph something like this, where you had very small bins, except for just one in the middle was extremely much higher. Then you would mention that there's one bin, and you'd give whatever values that went from here to here. It appears that all of the data sits between that range. Next thing, we're going to look at center. These are the measures of mean and median. I did put mode here. I really haven't talked about him. He has modes usually used mostly for categorical data. So if we were studying bar graphs, we'd focus on mode. We do mention mode in the shape, that unimodal or bimodal, but we're really going to stick with mean and median. We mentioned before for shape, if the graph is symmetric, the best measure of center is the mean. And for skewed graphs, either right or left, the best measure of center is the median. So hopefully you remember from the last video, I said that the median is the one that's resistant to that skew. And the last thing you're going to do is always estimate your range for your spread. So that's what spells out our socks. So shape, outlier, center, spread is the last S. Always estimate the range. Mention any major clusters or groupings in the graph. So I'm right here. Let's go ahead and look at an example. Once again, just don't overthink this. Don't try to find things that aren't there. So for this first graph, when I'm looking at it, I would just kind of notice the general shape of it. Look for skew, or look for symmetry, or look for uniformity. Well, this is definitely not uniform. It's not flat across the top. It's not skewed. It doesn't go more one direction than the other. But I would say that this is roughly symmetric. I can see some symmetry here. Like these, it definitely falls off. Now, is it exactly symmetric? No. So I'm going to write this. I'm going to say that it's roughly symmetric. You could say approximately symmetric would be fine too. I just think it's easier to spell roughly, so I'm going with roughly symmetric. The other thing I want to look for, of course, is that modality. So is there one clear peak? And we can definitely see that there is. There is one clear up and then down. So we're also going to say that this is unimodal. And that is all you have to put for shape. So you're looking for symmetry and you're looking for modality. Next, we're going to check for anything unusual or odd about this graph. Check for any outliers, and I don't see either. So that's what we're going to write. You don't have to say that there's nothing unusual or nothing odd. Just say that there's no outliers. All right, the center. So we talked about this before. Since it's roughly symmetric, our best measure of center is our mean. But we have one small problem. Since we don't know what the exact values are in each one of those bins, we have no way of calculating the mean. What we're going to do instead is we're going to use a trick. We're actually going to find the median. Since it's symmetric in shape, then the mean and the median should be almost the same. This is all approximation, so make sure when you put your answer that you'll say approximately. Here's how we're going to approximate the median. It is a little bit tricky. What I want to do is count how many values are in each bin. So I can see right here, if I look at this graph, that there's only one value in this bin, 2 in this one, 4 here, 5, 2 again, and 1. And then I'm going to total. So from 40 to 50, there's one value. Then all together from 40 to 60, there's 3. So I'm just adding them together for each bin. 3 plus 4 is 7. Um, 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. And 14 plus 1 is 15. So I have 15 values total in this histogram. Figuring out where the median is, remember 15 minus 1 is 14. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. That means I need 7 numbers below my median and 7 numbers above the median. That means my median is going to be actually the 8th number in this set. So at the 8th number, there will be 7 numbers below that and 7 numbers above that. My median is somewhere, I don't know exactly where. My median is somewhere in here. So it's somewhere in that bin between 70 and 80. I have no idea exactly what that number is, so I'm going to say approximately. For my center, I'm going to say the mean, remember, because the mean is the best measure of center for symmetry, but I'm using the median because it will be very close. I'm just going to say the mean is between, because I don't know exactly what it is, between 70 and 80. And this was scores. So I think 70 and 80 points, maybe, if you wanted to put that. That's fine. That's all that needs to be done for mean or for center. I think this might be the trickiest thing you need to find for this whole thing. Spread, right? Spread, we're going to use range. So once again, don't forget that range would be the highest value minus the lowest value. However, we don't know that there's actually 100 in this histogram. We don't know that there's actually a 40 in this histogram. So we're going to say approximately again. I'm just going to say the spread is about 100 minus 40, and that'd be 60. Don't say exactly. We don't know what actual values are in those bins. In the upper one, it's somewhere between 90 and 100. In the lower one, it's somewhere between 40 and 50. We just don't know. So make sure you're kind of vague. In this last example, I'm going to give you the opportunity to go ahead and try it on your own, and then I'll fill in the values quite quickly. So definitely this shape is skewed right and unimodal. For outliers, just say possible outliers exist around and give the value. That would be $110,000. Since this is a skewed graph, we want to talk about the median for center. I've highlighted some key things. First off, it said in the direction there are 100 employees. That means our median is going to be between our 50th and 51st number. In the first bin, there's 35 numbers. In the second bin, there's 25. So that's the first 2 bins go up to the first 60 employees. So that means my median is somewhere in the second bin. That's at 40,000. So my center, the median is approximately $40,000. The only other thing that's going to be different because of the outlier here, when we're talking about spread, It's important to note that the general range is about $80,000. That's going to be our 110,000 minus 30,000. But without outliers, these are probably your top executives are making this much. What if I'm just going to get a job at this company? I want to know I could make between $70,000 and $30,000, somewhere in there. So I really don't want to know what these top executives are making because maybe I don't want to be a top executive. I want to know that my range of salary is going to be about $40,000. This would be a little bit misleading if you give that information with. So you want to give both of them, the range with the outliers and without.